Okay, good morning world. We are not going to mess around with a long, drawn-out introduction. I'm Jules, this is Rich, this is the gaming channel, and boy f***ity do we have some news, because, Rich, take it away.
Well, it's been nearly 10 years.
Yes.
And there's been not a whisper.
Yes.
But now...
Yes.
There has been kind of some news that's not a game.
Losing a bit of steam, but yes!
Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
Yes!
It's kind of here.
Yes! Yes.
So...
Right, so basically, long story short, there was a guy who was one of the head writers for
He was
Valve.
the writer of Half-Life 1 and 2 and the episodes.
Whoa, slow down, son. You're going to burn out. But basically, he has now left Valve. We don't really know why, whether he's been
I think
fired
he
or
retired.
He's retired, okay, now. And then, all of a sudden, a mysterious letter penned from Gordon Freeman appeared on the web late last night. That's correct, isn't it? And basically, it details what could have been the story for Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Now that is a big deal. So we're going to go through this today and try and dissect it, try and figure out what sort of levels we might have got from the game. But trust me, it's going to be worth listening to us butcher it.
Yes.
Right, take it away, Rich.
Okay, so...
Because it wasn't when it was actually released. It didn't actually have the names. Somebody's actually gone and changed the pronouns and the names of the characters involved in this letter.
Yes, the original one released by Mark Laidlaw featured a character called Gertie Fremont.
Okay, I mean that's not a very not the best disguise, is it really on that one?
But with all the names changed and things like that, but it's still very much the Half-Life 2 Episode 3 we might have got. We don't know where from in development this has come from.
Wow.
The beginning or the end. Either way, we have something that kind of wraps up the story for those of us who've been waiting since 2007.
Yeah, that is a long ass
It's 10 years ago this October.
And to leave it on a death as well was pretty goddamn harsh.
Spoiler warning, by the way.
Well, I think that if they're clicking on this, then they're probably going to have to accept that there are going to be quite a lot of spoilers. Okay, so look, just give us a quick synopsis of what's going on, because we'll put a link to where you can read the article in the description so you can check it out for yourself.
So essentially, the end of Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Eli Vance is obviously killed by the... what are they called again? Oh, goodness me.
They're called Squiddly Diddlies.
Squiddly Diddlies. Let's go for Squiddly Diddlies. I've actually forgotten what they're called. But anyway, at this point, Dr. Judith Mossman had given Alex and Gordon and the Resistance the location of the Borealis, which if you've played Portal, you will have heard of, because it's an Aperture Science research ship with apparently lots of awesome tech on it that could help the Resistance win over the Combine.
It was kind of like the Pandora's box of tech, wasn't it? It was just like
much.
they had like everything in there, apparently.
Yeah, so after they bury Eli Vance, they set off to find the Borealis. They use the coordinates they've been given and they head over to the Antarctic, where the Borealis supposedly is. When they turn up, they don't find the Borealis, but they find a massive Combine sort of fortress.
I tell you what you're going to do is you're going to read it out and I'll do the reaction things for it.
Okay, right.
Oh man. Oh no. So yeah, it's a giant structure. Oh dears.
Yes.
There's no ship here.
They get shot down. Don't know how. It just says we got shot down. Don't really know how. And they infiltrate their way into the base, which obviously means vents and lots of vents. Exactly that.
Me crawling through a
when
vent.
they get in, they get kind of captured, but kind of not captured by the Combine, and they come across an old friend known as Dr. Wallace Breen, who we thought was dead at the end of Half-Life 2, but was actually sort of reincarnated. An earlier version of himself was picked up by the Combine and plopped into a slug.
It's like his consciousness
is
chucked
in
into a slug, and he's just a big slug now. Yeah. And he's called the Breen grub.
The Breen grub. And during this point, Gordon and Alex are talking to him, and he reveals that he was pretty scared of the Combine, and he wasn't really on their side the whole time. And he wants Gordon and Alex to end his life because he hates being a grub.
As you would.
But even though he doesn't know that his future self is dead. He doesn't know that.
Yeah, but he just knows that.
But he knows that Gordon is a bastard.
Yeah, so he just is completely afraid of him, but has no idea why. Pretty much like my relationship with Ben Potter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So at this point in the game, we expect that Gordon has a choice. Does he kill him quickly or does he make him suffer?
So that would infer, therefore, that there's going to be some player choice in the game if that was the story.
If that is how things pan out.
But it does suggest in here that he might have ended his life a bit quicker. So it shows that there was a bit of resentment on Gordon's behalf, maybe.
So from there, they managed to find Dr. Judith Mossman, who you'll know from Half-Life 2, who is a double agent for the Resistance. She's like, I'm with the Resistance. No, I'm not. I'm with the Combine. Actually, I'm with the Resistance.
Psych.
Yes. Who gives? Obviously, she gives them the coordinates for the Borealis, and they find her at this Borealis compound, and she reveals that this is not where the Borealis is, but where the Borealis could be.
Yes, because it's not a thing, it's not a place, it's actually a point in time where it would actually materialise, because it's constantly phasing in and out of reality because of the bootstrap device that's on board.
It is an Aperture Science research ship, as we know, which has some tech on it, and it turns out when the 7-hour war happened with the Combine, the Aperture scientists on the ship went, boop, and they activated it with no idea what it would do.
They basically were just trying to get as far away from the Combine as possible, which, fair play to them. But unfortunately, what they didn't realise is that it works not only in terms of distance, because it was meant to be like a almost teleportation, instant transportation device, but it works through time as well. And the story that you'll read has a lovely little paragraph explaining how it's kind of like the resonating notes on a guitar string. It kind of just plops in and out of time and place and reality whenever it kind of resonates well. And I'm like, what a lovely piece of writing. Well done, that man.
So Dr. Mossman gets the ship to appear in this particular fortress, and Gordon, Alex, and Dr. Mossman get onto the ship. And while they're on there, they obviously find all the kits. And Alex wants to fulfill her father's wishes of destroying it and stopping either the Resistance or the Combine getting hold of it. Whereas Dr. Mossman says, no, we should take it to the Resistance and use it to defeat the Combine.
So choices are going to be made, or potentially
choices being made, but the way this letter particularly pans out is Alex, obviously still very, very hard over the fact of her father's death, takes a gun and kills Dr. Mossman on the spot.
I'm reckoning right between the eyes as well. Or in the back, like a dirty dog.
She's there at the controls,
and
like, we're going to take the Resistance, bang!
Right to the
I'm
jaw.
the captain now. So, Alex thinks, right, what's the best way to destroy this thing? Well, this thing's all very powerful and very probably explodey. So she sets the coordinates to land it straight into the middle of the Combine everything.
Yes, but there is a problem, because as they are arming the vessel, and they think that they're going to basically destroy it, who appears but the old boy himself,
the G-Man.
The G-Man
Appears.
But he doesn't appear to Gordy. No, he appears to Alex, and Alex recognises him instantly as a member or like childhood friend. Now that in itself opens so many questions.
It does. There's still no actual indication as to who G-Man is. That's still a big mystery.
And the worst bit is that he literally just goes, we've got places to be and things to do, and he literally takes her out of existence and leaves you on the ship
Gordon
alone.
Freeman on a big explodey ship heading to the Combine. So what happens?
Well, I mean, the story seems to suggest that he goes through some sort of weird, what's it called? The film that Stanley Kubrick did, the very end, where it's all like colours and mirrors.
Is it
Space Odyssey? 2001.
Odyssey?
It sounds like it goes very much like that, in that Gordy gets to see tons and tons of things like the Combine's rise to power, their entire sort of military infrastructure, and this thing called a Dyson sphere, which I looked up.
I'm guessing is some kind of big power source or something.
Well, it seems that it looks like it's a structure that goes around an entire planet and feeds off of its power to generate something. So he sees all of these weird things, and then he realises that the thing that he's on, this tiny little vessel, will not even scratch the surface. So it's very, very futilistic, that.
So we think that Gordon Freeman is about to get blown to smithereens, but it turns out, similar to what happens in Half-Life 2 Episode 2, the Vortigaunts come up and they rescue him themselves.
Aren't they nice? Nice guys.
Alex is with the G-Man. Gordon's back with the Vortigaunts. Is this the ending to Episode 3 that leads into Half-Life 3?
But then he says that the letter ends very definitively by saying that I have no idea at what point in time I am. The research team has changed. I don't recognise anyone here anymore. The rebellion might as well be lost. This is my final episode.
Yours in infinite finality, Gordon Freeman, PhD.
I mean, for the series to end, if it was to end with that on a downer, would be kind of like so unsatisfying in terms of a storytelling, like a Hollywood desire to have things wrap up well. but it would tell one hell of a powerful story.
My goodness.
But basically, it would just be, there never was a chance to beat the Combine. This is a definitive thing. This is like, you cannot change the future, so this is going to happen. So it kind of left us quite reeling with that, because I don't know about you, but Half-Life was one of my favourite games of all time growing up. So I kind of am accepting this as the official ending to
I
it.
love this ending.
I think the story itself is fantastic. We even went through and we're just trying to piece together some bits to try and make a level plan, as it were, as to what could actually how it could run. So if you look at it, we could have like an Arctic level at the beginning with the crash and maybe him trying to make his way through to surviving some sort of like natural dangers and things like that.
Might get some sort of ice ant lions in the wastes or something.
That would be very fun. And then it's like you could have an infiltration level into the Combine facility, and then the capture by Breen grub, and then the escape from him with a large-scale battle involving the militia that are with you, fighting the Combine as you board the vessel. And then it specifically says in the letter that almost like a haunted house vibe happens, because as the Borealis is jumping between points in time, you end up seeing multiple versions of yourself, which could create a kind of psychological horror level, which would be fascinating, because the game plays with physics really, really well, so that seems to be right in its wheelhouse. And then it says, then we reckon that as the time was going to get messed up, there'd be another level arming the Borealis, fighting off the Combine. We're trying to get
flashbacky kind of things.
Yeah, flashbacks.
All sorts.
Maybe even like references to other games in the Valve lineup, because there is the possibility of that. I mean, you are going to Aperture, so
it does say that you do see the Borealis being sent on its maiden voyage during this sequence of seeing all the points in time the Borealis has been flicking to, because it's like jumping between the entirety of time and space.
And to be honest as well, I mean, Valve are very well known for their love of having a bit of comedy when the time is right. There might even be a bit where you're trapped inside of like a testing thing with Shell or something like that. I mean,
GLaDOS spins around and goes, "Who are you?"
Yeah, and then you disappear. I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that. And then finally, you've got the temporal bomb and the ending. And to be honest, I find it really satisfying that this has been released. I do feel like a chapter has been closed. While it's not official in the slightest now that he's left, it still is a powerful piece of writing, and I really suggest you check it out, because gave me a good on for the morning, say that much.
It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good day. And the Queens of the Stone Age have released a new album today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Rock on Friday. So, yeah, let us know what you think about this story. Could you do it better? Maybe you could. Maybe you're an award-winning writer who's had 3 amazing games under your belt. Who knows? But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, I've been Jules.
I've been Rich.
And we'll see you soon. Maybe in an episode 3. What's our episode 3? How do we end this? This is the thing, now we're at a crux. We're ending in an episode 2 finish in a really awkward way. Help me, Rich! Help me! Ah!